What's going on, everyone? I'm the OPJellicent, and I'm going to be talking about my matchup for the final week of the regular season in the Ultimate Battle League. My opponent this week is Rewt, coach of the NJ Brobats. I don't know too much about him, but I do know I think he's positive right now, so he's got to somewhat know what he's doing right here. But I don't want to give out too many details about this matchup since he could be a potential playoff opponent, since he is positive right now. And I do also know that this Teambuilder is going up the same day as the match. Normally, I like to get them up the day before, which is Thursday, but I know for a fact I won't be able to edit this until Thursday night, so this should be going live on Friday morning, and then the match will go live a few hours later. So let's go ahead and talk about Rewt's roster first, which you can go ahead and see over on the right side of your screen. Starting things off with Clefable, I'm definitely expecting some sort of calm mindset. It does get some other cool tech moves like Encore, potentially like Wish passing into Pokemon like Necrozma, Registeel. Those are all possibilities right here, but Clefable should come. I do have a tech move on my Manaphy just in case it is a setup variant, so that should definitely be great right here. Azumarill is his next Pokemon, 2 fairy types right off the bat right here, which is definitely interesting. I'm very much anticipating a choice band set because Priority Aqua Jet is great against Pokemon like my Weavile, like my Cobalion, so that's going to be great for him right here. Azumarill is not a Z-move user, so it cannot run the Z Belly Drum this week, which is absolutely great for me, because Z Belly Drum would just be such a nightmare to prep for right here, but I would have sturdy checks to that otherwise. Necrozma is his third Pokemon right here. It is a potential Stealth Rocker. I'm definitely expecting something like a Calm Mind set, maybe like Calm Mind Moonlight with a lot of Fizz Def and then 2 attacks. Most likely being like Power Gem and then Photon Geyser, that could be a possibility. An Autotomize set makes a lot of sense right here too if he wants to maintain speed control. But really, I think this is one of his better Stealth Rockers this game. It's either going to be this or Registeel in my eyes, which I'll talk about later. Nihilego is his next Pokemon. I don't see Nihilego coming. It struggles against Hippowdon, it struggles against Cobalion, it struggles against Mega Latios. And obviously, it does get some coverage moves just to mitigate those weaknesses. Grass Knot for the Hippowdon, for example, Dazzling Gleam for the Mega Latios, but I still don't see it as being a very strong bring on his part right here. Raikou is his next Pokemon right here. Raikou really struggles with Hippowdon, but like a sub-toxic variant with 2 attacks could make a lot of sense right here, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. Other than that, like a Choice Scarf variant for speed control could be great. It would outspeed anything like my Choice Scarf Manaphy, which I'm sure he's noticed if he looks at my old battles that I've been bringing that a lot. It would also outspeed my Weavile, my Mega Latios after a Dragon Dance, so Choice Scarf Raikou would not be surprising right here. Registeel is his other possible Stealth Rocker. I really think it's going to be Necrozma or Registeel. I don't think Nihilego comes at all right here. I guess Mega Camera Up can maybe be a Stealth Rocker too, but Registeel, I just gotta make sure that Clefable doesn't pass too many wishes to it because that would be really annoying right here, but it's just gonna be like Rocks, Toxic, maybe like Seismic Toss or Iron Head. Could see Thunder Wave on there or Toxic too, depending on what status you want, because if he Toxics my Hippowdon, that could actually open up the door a lot for the Raikou, so that's something he may try to do right here. Serena's another possible Choice Scarf user. I'm actually expecting this to be Choice Scarf because it would outpace my Weavile, and because of the Queenly Majesty, I couldn't Ice Shard it, so that would definitely make a lot of sense right here, but I don't think Choice Band makes a lot of sense. It wouldn't provide much speed control at all. Pokemon like my Rotom, Heat, Cobalion, Crobat, even Manaphy and Weavile would all outspeed that, so Choice Scarf Serena is probably the way to go. It is also a Rapid Spinner for him. Noivern is a second Z-move user right here. Nihilego was a Z-Mon, but I never really talked about it since I'm not expecting it to come right here. Flynium Z Noivern is kind of spammable, but I'm expecting Dragonium Z just because it's able to go ahead and actually hit my Rotom Heat quite hard right here. Choice Specs Draco Meter could definitely be a thing too, because Draco plus Hurricane is actually quite nice against my team. He might also not just, bring a Choice variant, because he may want to switch up moves given how weak my Pokemon is, my roster are to that 2 types right there, so that's going to be kind of big. Spiritomb is his third to last Pokemon right here. It does provide him with a Dark type, so I can't bring Mono attacking Mega Latios this week with only Psychic coverage, which definitely sucks right here, but that's fine. I don't even know if Spiritomb's going to come, but I'm not going to risk that at all. I can definitely deal with Calm Mind variants, gotta keep Sucker Punch priority in mind. Perugly is another Pokemon. Good speed tier there at 112, being able to outpace Pokemon like my Cobalion, as well as my Mega Latios, hit them hard with a return. I don't know if it gets anything for Cobalion, it might get Superpower. I'll have to double check on the coverage, and then finally Mega Camerupt, which Mega Camerupt is definitely a strong bring for him right here. It is a third possible Stealth Rocker, but I'm really expecting it to be a Breaker, or for it to just not come at all, because it really doesn't hit my Mega Latios too hard. I can easily invest that to live like 2 super effective hidden powers, so that's fine right here. And yeah, that's going to be his roster. If I had to guess the 6, I would say Clef, Azumarill, Necrozma, Raikou, Registeel, Serena, but I could see Noivern, I could see Mega Camerupt in there or even Perugly, depending on the coverage, but let's go ahead and talk about my 6 Pokemon. Alright, the first Pokemon we have right here is Exceed, my Weavile, which is earning a modest Expert Belt set. This is actually my win condition this week because it hits a lot of his team super effectively. I have HP Ground for the Nihilego as well as just a chip the Registeel. Water Shuriken priority is great against Pokemon like the Nihilego if it's Choice Scarf, if I somehow end up in a bad position against it, but I don't imagine I will right here. It does also hit the Mega Camerupt quite hard right here, so that's quite nice. And yes, Sludge Bomb plus Bug Buzz just hits his fairy types quite nicely. Bug Buzz hits Necrozma quite hard through the, I think it's Prism Armor was what the ability is called, so that's quite great right here. It's not the best win condition against him, I definitely saw better ideas, but I obviously don't want to reveal those, so I figured we'll go ahead and stick with this for this week. Let's go ahead and talk about my second Pokemon. Next up right here we have Pride the Cobalion, which is earning a Swords Dance set with Dual Stab and Stealth Rocks. I'm actually opting to go with Steel EMZ this week, just because it's able to hit Pokemon like the Azumarill, as well as the Necrozma a little bit harder than Fightini EMZ would, which can make all the difference right here because I do have a bit of HP investment on there, which does allow me to take a +6 Adamant Aqua Jet even after Stealth Rocks damage. I'm pretty sure this thing only takes 3% from Rock, so that's a great right here. And then of course we have enough speed for the Nihilego, which is really nice, but if this can get up Rocks and just fire off that Z move into something like Necrozma, Azumarill, or just Wellbreak Clefable, that would be ideal right here. The close combat's also a great way to check the Registeel, which is really nice right here. This is probably going to be my primary Registeel switch-in because Earthquake only does like 30%, which I don't really have to care about, and I can go ahead and threaten it out with the close combat, which is really nice right here. So ideally this can go ahead and get up those Rocks. Let's go ahead and talk about my Manaphy. And rounding out the first half of my team right here, we have Ultimate the Manaphy, which is earning a pretty spit F set right here, which allows me to sponge hits from Pokemon such as the Noivern as well as the Mega Camerupt a lot better than we otherwise would. I have a lot of speed on there, which I believe was for the Necrozma. I can outspeed any variant of Necrozma, which is great right here because I want to hard swap those stat boosts away in case it does actually start boosting up before it attacks me, of course, right? If it has Commons up, I gotta make sure I take its boosts before the stored power goes off, so that speed investment is vital right here. And of course, this is also a counter to a setup Clefable, whether it is Cosmic Power or Combine. I'm very much expecting it to be Magic Guard, so ideally what happens is I take its boosts away and then I can Tail Glow up and threaten it out, which would be absolutely amazing right here. I'm really hoping it's actually Cosmic Power rather than Combine, because the Fizz Def can actually help out against Pokemon like the Serena. I do have a Rindo Berry for that, but Power Rip or Trap Kick still does a sizable chunk, so I want to make sure I can go ahead and sponge those if at all possible right here. Let's go ahead and talk about my Mega Latios. Alright, starting off the second half of the team right here, we have Gateway the Mega Latios, which is earning a Combined Roost set with 2 attacks being Psyshock and Surf right here. This is a Pokemon that can go ahead and sponge an Aqua Jet from the Azumarill, even after +6, so if Belly Drums ideally have Rocks up, Psyshock can go ahead and kill that thing from the 38%. I have a lot of HP with a good amount of Spit F, which allows me to take a +1 Dazzling Gleam from the Nihilego, even after Stealth Rocks damage, which is quite nice right here. And the HP also helps me sponge hits from some of his likely Choice Scarf users right here, most notably the Serena with U-Turn or Play Rough. I can also sponge Shadow Balls from the Raikou right here, which is definitely nice. This is also my primary switch into the Mega Camerupt. I'm actually very against bringing setup Pokemon in general, just because it's pretty much asking to get haxed out. But it is the final week right here, I figured why not. I'm not going to bring any sort of setup like this to the playoffs where, you know, getting haxed out would suck, but I will go ahead and rely on it right now if I can, and it'll be okay right here, no matter what happens. We're in playoffs either way. Let's go ahead and talk about my Hippowdon. Alright, my second to last Pokemon right here is Sloth the Hippowdon, which is earning a Rindo Berry with 4 standard moves right here. Toxic Earthquake as its primary ways of dealing damage, and then Slack Off and Stealth Rocks on this. I actually have 2 Stealth Rock users on this team because chip damage and everything is great for my Selgor. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got lazy with the EVs right here. I didn't really want to figure out any Fizz Def, so I just put Max Spit F on there just to help out with the Nihilego as well as potentially like a Choice Specs Raikou. Figured why not, right? It also helps out against Noivern as well as like Twisted Spoon Necrozma, which could otherwise 2-hit KO me with the Photon Geyser, so we'll see whether that works out or not, but really it's just here to sponge hits from the Raikou as well as potentially the Noivern. If I do burn the Z move, I can go ahead and sponge 2 Hurricanes with this and start clicking Slack Off, which could be great right here. I'm pretty sure even without any speed, this outspeeds Mega Camerupt most of the time, unless he runs like good speed investment on it, so I can also Earthquake that, and the Fizz Def will obviously allow me to sponge them hits better, so that's kind of cool, but definitely lazy EVs. It's okay though. Let's go ahead and talk about my Weavile. Okay, and running out the team right here, we have Greed the Weavile, which is earning a Muscle Band set, exactly like last week because I don't like taking Life Orb Recoil, and the Expert Belt didn't really allow me to hit that much super effectively this week, so I figured Muscle Band would be the way to go. Poison Jab is nice right here just to go ahead and hit his Fairy types, most notably the Azumarill, as well as the Clefable. I sure it is good against Pokemon like Choice Scarf Noivern, potentially a Choice Scarf Raikou or Nihilego as well, but obviously Obviously, for this Choice Scarf Serena, I cannot Ice Shard that due to Queenly Majesty, so that is something to take into account right here, but this is a potential endgame path as well. It can go ahead and sponge a Power Gem from the Necrozma, I believe. I'll double check the calc on that, I'm not completely sure, but it's just max attack, max speed. Once again, lazy EVs, but I figured the speed would be good for the Noivern right here. And yeah, that's going to be the team. I definitely want to win this game. Going 9-1 would be cool right here, but either I'm pretty sure I'm locked for either first or second seed at this point, so I really don't care. And yeah, the match will be going live later today. I obviously do want to win though, because it would be lame for me to just not try and somebody else loses a playoff spot because I decided to just go ahead and throw away this game. So I will be putting in the effort, at least for the plays, when it comes to the match. And yeah, that'll be going live later. I'll see you then.